Alright, welcome back to the SuperCoach Nuff channel. In this video we're going to review round 3 of the 2024-25 SuperCoach BBL season, as well as preview round 4, which kicks off later today. So what ended up being a pretty okay week. Thought it was going to be a bit of a disaster, but ended up with a 919, which was good enough for almost a 2,000 jump rank, 2,000 position jump in the ranks, and got us inside the top 10% overall. So we will absolutely take that, given how poor we thought it was going to be. But if we have a look at the team, got a couple of league wins as well. Thanks for coming. So Tom Benton was a bit of a punt, didn't pay off, only getting a 26. And Josh Philippi going alright, particularly last night. So it didn't quite work out for us. Matt Short with a 120 off a single game. You absolutely take that. Cooper Connolly with 37 is all right. Nathan McSweeney with 73. So obviously would have liked it a little bit more off the double, but we'll take what we can get. Darcy Short with the 66, again very good off the one game. Stoinis with 51. So the Stars guys haven't really worked out for us, and given they've already played 5 games out of their allotment, they're probably ones that you can start to look at moving on. With the ball, Jamie Overton, again really good, 131. He'll definitely be in the captaincy conversation this week. Jack Edwards unlucky to get injured, only getting a 12. Luckily we had him as the vice captain. And I think maybe part of the reason why I've done so well this week was my point of difference captain, Spencer Johnson. 163, 4 wickets the other night. I forget what he got last night. I know that he got beaten. But, most of his points came from that first game, so worked out really well. Tommy Curran with 39, again, another one who can be moved on. Baisley, ideally, we'd like to move him on too, although he does have the double this week again. So maybe we hold, see if we can get one more score out of him. And Hurst with a 38 was very handy on the bench. So I know the team ended up being a bit different from the original video. There was a couple of late changes, so I'll just bring up the trade history here on the right. Oops. So in the end, just to try and get the playing players on field, we basically just got rid of anyone who wasn't playing. So Seifert went, despite having the double this week. Richardson and Abbott went, being on Australian duties, and McKenzie went as Sam Amir's back. So doesn't look like he'll get a game in the near future. So with that, we brought in Johnson, Ben, McSweeney, and Edwards, still the same players we were targeting. I guess I think the Abbott trade was one of the difference ones, and then McKenzie as well. I can't remember who originally. I think I might have tried to trade out Hurst and someone else. But in terms of the leagues, go back to round 3. So in the first league, got a comfortable win over the Super Sixers, Pam's team. So if we have a look, captained Edwards, so that's unfortunate. Josh Philippi 198, so you can see the point of difference play did not pay off. Mitch Owen 28, but some good cash being generated there, no doubt. Had VC on short, but I had short anyway. Looking across the league, the only score higher was LA Knight with a 957. So Agar turning up was pretty handy. Had Maxwell as captain, which looks like a great call after the first innings of the first game, but sort of petered out, I suppose. Dorcius with a 148. He was a great one to have if you've got him. But had Edwards and Banton as well. So had Philippi with the 198. Renshaw 77 was quite solid too. So that's the first one. League 2. So a monster 1150 for Stars for the win. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was up there in terms of the overall. Might try and have a bit of a look in a minute. Philippi as an emergency, that's pretty handy. I'm guessing just like a loophole sort of situation. No, I don't know. Just just played Doran on field for no reason. Brilliant. But had Overton short, Johnson as captain, McSweeney. So yeah, I guess just Philippi was the difference there. Like I had Banton. What's the difference? 170. So that only gets me to 1080. So I guess Renshaw and Mir outscoring Hurst and Short makes up the difference. There is another 1,000, so we will have a look at Felix Force, Alex's team. So Short, Philippi, McSweeney is captain. Interesting. Had Overton, Dorcius. Nice. Um, third league, another win. About 60 points over kick-ass. So Jim's team. So VC'd Maxwell and looks like he took the loop. Had Johnson but didn't captain. So I guess that was just the captaincy in the end. That was the difference. Yeah, nothing too standoutish that we haven't already talked about there. Top scorer in this league, there's two 1,000s, but Art Vanderlei, 73 with a 1019. Captain Maxwell, Dorcius, Philippi with a big two there. Nice. And the final one, which I think was a loss, a narrow loss to Stark Raving Mad, Matthew's team. I do like that name. Ben Ducker with 210, so he's pretty expensive. Well done if you could afford to get him in. Also took a ripping catch. Dorcius, Overton. So I guess Duckett outscored Philippi. So, that seemed to be the key to success, was having one of them as a wicket keeper. Dorcius with the ball, or Johnson. Probably both would have been ideal. Overton, I think, is a mainstay in most teams. So, yeah, nice one. Um, and that was almost the highest score in the league, a 984, Lockie's team. So Spencer Johnson is captain and Dorcius, like we just said. Overton, Short, nice. So if we have a look at the rankings, around 3 points. So 1460 was the top score. I thought 11. What did I say? 11 something was good. But Philippi, Vince, Duckett, Short, Johnson, no Dorcius. Billings with a 147. That's massive. So no Dorcius and got a 1460. That's unreal. Good stuff. A Brisbane man as well. You like to see that. So in terms of the team going into round four, excuse me. So we do have the Renegades and the Strikers both on the double this week. As you can see, we're pretty well sorted for strikers with four. We've got a couple of the Renegades guys. And as we talked about, the Stars are pretty much done in terms of their fixtures. Played five in 3 rounds, and not going that flash if we're being completely honest. So I'll just do some stubbing around. So with Stoinis and Curran both sort of done, and Edwards injured, I think they're the three we're going to trade this week. And in terms of trading targets, obviously if you haven't got Overton or Short, I think they're both great targets from the strikers. Lloyd Pope potentially, if you've already got both of them and you're looking for maybe a third Adelaide player. After that, you can see there's not too much doing there. Thornton, disappointed last week with the ball. Short, Ross is a little bit, inconsistent. Oh, Darcy Short's probably a bit inconsistent, I should say. I got him in from the start, so I think that's okay. Ross, just that middle order play, is a bit hit and miss because of that. Ollie Pope, potentially. But I think most of the value is with the Renegades, so that's who I'm targeting. So obviously, I think the number one target is Will Sutherland, but I would also like to get Seifert back in if we can. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it on price though. So what we might do is we'll go Rogers and Sutherland and see what we've got. We've got 112 to play with. Um, so what I'm thinking, obviously, it would be nice to get Seifert back in, um, but there is another Renegades player who doesn't really feature up here because he hasn't played that many games. But Jacob Bethel. So only 43 points off the two games, but he is an all rounder. Bats fairly high up. I think they've got him batting 4 or 5. But batted 3 for England, so can go up the order. Bowls those little left arm spinners. So I think he's worth a bit of a pod shout this week. If I go look at his ownership, only 4%. I think it will grow this week. He is one of the top trading targets. Also, there's lots of the Renegades guys. Fraser McGurk, I suppose, if you like the risk reward there at a similar price point, we could do. But I'm going to back Bethel in. So we'll confirm that. And now we just got to work out how to fit all the pieces in. So Saltzman can obviously sit out. So then after that, this is where we've got to start making decisions. So the first decision is whether we go with Hurst or Banton at the top. So what I'm thinking is I'll put Hurst in just because he plays first. And then obviously if Inglis comes back for the New Year's Eve game, not sure, and they sort of sit Hurst out, then I can just swap Banton in. But I think Banton will end up on my bench. It's between him and McSweeney. Obviously the 3 on the double are locked in. Connolly has that, double bite at the cherry given he bats and bowls. So I think, that's the way to go there. The bowlers is a bit trickier because obviously we want to get Bethel in as well. So, we've got 4 guys on the double and then you've got Spencer Johnson. But what I'm thinking is because we've got such a strong squad, throughout, we may actually just sit Baisley out. Probably in an ideal world, he would be the flex in place of, say, McSweeney. But we don't quite have the flexibility to pull that off. So there is a possibility of using a boost, but realistically, I don't think we're trading out Banton just yet. Or are we? No, I don't think so. And so Consus, I think we can hang on to until post test match. Like he might not quite get back in time for the double, but he will play the last few rounds. So I think he's one you can hold. You can trade if you want to, but then also we just look at sort of sidewaysing Baisley. So yeah, and just given he's got that role where he bats quite deep in the order, but then also doesn't really get a lot of overs with the ball. It's not an ideal role. It's one that can pay off if he gets the overs. Gets a bit of a hit late. But yeah, it's just with the squad we've got, we can't quite make it work. I don't think. Yeah, so I think no, it's still not going to work. So I think that's the way the team's going to line up in terms of captain and vice captain shouts. So the Renegades play first. So the VC on Sutherland, and then for the captain, I'm actually going to go with Overton. I think just Short hasn't been as convincing with the bat as we'd like. Overton's looked quite good with both bat and ball, so we'll back him in as our captain this week, just for a bit of consistency with all the Renegades bowlers. There's a lot of Renegades there, but they've had their bye. They do play double this week and then play every other round. So we can probably carry a few of these guys moving forward. But yeah, I think that's how we're going to line it up for this week. So we'll wrap the video up there. As always, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, feel free to get them below this video. Give us a like in the form of a thumbs up. If you enjoy the BBL content, subscribe for all the fantasy content on the channel. And other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.